What's up, everybody? Happy Monday and welcome into the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy here on Better Sports Network.
It's in the beans.
I'm your host, Simon. It is, in fact, in the beans, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-hosts, John, Luke, and Joey. What's up, Joey and John, Luke?
What up?
Guys, I feel like I missed my calling. I took my family to Disney on Ice this past weekend, and there was like ice skating and dad jokes like from the MC, and like I realize I'm making a mistake here with
Joey.
FYI.
We're holding
I
you
should
back.
be that guy. Yeah.
We're sending Joey to Disney on Ice right now. Joey, you are no longer part of the show. You need to pursue your dreams. Guys, joining JL today after Joey starts pursuing his Disney on Ice dreams is a very special guest. For those of you that do not know him, you need to get with the program. We've got our friend James Coe with us. He is a four-time Emmy-winning fantasy football analyst, formerly of DirecTV and the NFL Network, co-host of the Reception Perception podcast. You can find him on social at James D. Coe on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. James, thank you so much for taking the time to come and play some games with us today.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's my favorite time of the year when I get to join you boys and play some fantasy, some games, if you will.
I feel like you've wrecked us every single time you come on.
No, oh God, no.
Really?
Oh, absolutely not. No, I mean I try my best, but I'm not even sure. I'm not sure if I've ever won. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes today.
We'll check the tapes. We'll get some. We'll get one of the FYF historians out there to go check the tapes, figure it out.
There you go.
We got some people in the chat excited for today. Scott Fish in here said, "Wait, James Coe is on today. Big day.
Oh,
big
QB. Let's go, Scott Fish.
announcement.
Hell yeah.
Big QB.
Big QB.
Oh yeah. For our for the website Reception Perception. If I could
QB
take
charts.
Let's do it.
Obviously you guys have known Matt Harmon to do world class wide receiver charting.
The best.
We've actually teamed up and hired Derek Klassen to handle the quarterback charting for us this year. So for the very first time, Reception Perception is going to be offering quarterback charting in the very near future. Really excited to bring him on board. And go check out the website, receptionperception.com. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people know Matt's work, but a lot of people don't realize that he actually has his own standalone website now. And obviously I've partnered up with him to kind of bring Reception Perception to the masses.
It is an invaluable resource. I use it every single year. It's so good.
I feel like the biggest issue with Reception Perception has been that it's receivers and that I couldn't get it for quarterbacks or other positions. And so now that we're going to get something similar, a similar level of product, that's wild. Big QB announcement. Scott's not kidding. We got Craig in here ready for today's show. Says happy Monday, friends. What's up, Dave?
What up, Craig?
From Toronto. Shout out Dave. Toronto area says, let's go. We got Victor in here saying happy Monday, bro. Chachos.
Happy Monday, my friend.
Chacho, Victor. On Saturday and Sunday, not a single person calls me bro Chacho. And then I come in here and on Mondays, it's like breaking that fast. Victor also saying, hope you had a blast at that XFL championship game, Simon. It was fun. It happened to be 2 miles from my house. So I grabbed a ticket, went on down there, and they are quite theatrical in the showcase of it. And it was a lot of fun to go to.
You said Kelly Bryant was a QB, right?
He was the backup quarterback for the Renegades and came in for a couple snaps, but all of a sudden I'm sitting there watching this game and I hear that's Kelly Bryant on the quarterback keeper for 7. And I'm like, that's my boy. That's like, I just got like irrationally happy to hear his
Wasn't The Rock? Was The Rock there?
The Rock was there. They kept cutting to him up in the stands. They had they had like a flex off where they had him flexing into the camera and they tried to get people doing it in the crowds.
That's pretty cool.
It was a whole thing.
Hey, wait, hold on real quick. Is this the same Kelly Bryant that was at Clemson and then he transferred to Missouri?
Yes, that Kelly
Very
Bryant.
same.
So the only reason I remember that name is because when I was doing broadcast work for Fan Controlled Football, Kelly Bryant actually stepped in and was like a quarterback for one of these FCF teams, and I was like, he actually looks pretty decent. I was like, where did this guy go? I was like, this guy was pretty good at Clemson. Now, obviously, he was sandwiched between Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence. So I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
But I thought the 1 year that he was a starter there at Clemson, I thought he was pretty good. So I'm not surprised that he's latched onto an XFL team. Honestly,
I'm with you.
I'm with you. I always thought he got a bad rap. Exactly what you said. When there's Trevor Lawrence pushing you behind and Deshaun Watson coming right before you.
Yeah, he wasn't as good as those guys, unfortunately.
No. Also, we got Dave down here saying we are all winners watching FYF. Well, we'll see you by the end of this show if you still feel the same way, Dave.
Kind of nice thing to say, Dave.
Guys, today we brought James here to play 2 games. It's a 2-round special of the Fantasy Football Game Show. The points are going to combine. Round 1 is going to be a game of Quotey McQuoteface. This is our game based on identifying NFL-related quotes. JL has curated a list of quotes about NFL news from this past weekend, past couple weeks.
Uh-oh.
He's going to present one of those to a contestant, and JL's going to finish explaining this game real quick.
Yes, I am. I'm going. I have. Gosh, he always does this to me. All right, so I got a bunch of quotes. I got 6 quotes to be exact from around the NFL. I'm going to give you guys, each of you guys, a opportunity to guess who said the quote and what they're talking about. So there are 2 points available for each quote. If you don't get either one, your opponents will have the opportunity to steal them if they can guess correctly. We're going to go in the following order. We're going to go with Joey, followed by James, followed by Simon. Followed by Simon, whenever he comes back. All right. Let me get that scoreboard up. All right, Joey, you are going first on this one. Are you ready?
All right, let's go. I am always ready.
All right, let's get right into our game. The first quote. Me and Bijan, we're cool. We get along good. That's my boy. So every time I see him, we had the same coach in college. So all 3 of us have a great relationship. Joey, who said this? What are they talking about?
Can I see it one more time?
Yeah.
Okay, same coach in college. I'm just going to go with Roshan Johnson, who played behind him. That'd be my guess.
Roshan Johnson. And what is he talking
Yeah.
about?
Keep the quote back up for me one more time.
Yeah.
Dude.
So all 3 of us have. Oh man, I'm just gonna say Roshan. Yeah, I can't get the second part then.
All right, so passing on the context, but going with Roshan Johnson. Joey, that is incorrect. I'm sorry. So James, you have both points available to you to steal on this one if you can correctly guess who said it and what they're talking about.
I mean, I was absolutely going to say the backup running back there in Texas. So I just was like, I'm confused. So if that's not him, I mean, what? Oh, man. I don't know. My brain's in a pickle, man. My brain is in an absolute pickle. I don't know. I actually thought that it was the backup running back. I didn't know what the context was. Maybe something about Bijan going, early and then Roshan going late or something. But obviously that was not it. So I don't know, man. I'm in an absolute mind pretzel here.
Do you want to take a guess?
Golly, honestly, that's where I was going to go,
All right, we could pass it around to Simon. You ready to pass? James?
Yes, pass it.
All right.
Yep, pass it.
All right, Simon, you have the opportunity to steal both points here. If you could tell me who said it and what they're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry I had to run off there. It was an emergency situation, but now I'm prepared for this question. This was very clearly they definitely have the same coach, and I know this for a fact. They must have switched schools. It was Tyler Algier talking about he's just excited about Bijan Robinson, and he's not worried about him taking his job.
Did they? Though?
I am pulling that fully out of my ass.
Tyler Algier played, but Tyler, yeah.
Let's
Tyler,
forget about the details. The details of if the coaches were the same don't matter, but somewhere in their past.
Simon going with Tyler Algier on being compared, I guess, to Bijan Robinson coming in to Atlanta, and that is half correct.
Oh,
Your context is correct. This is talking about a running back being compared to being compared to Bijan Robinson, but it was not Tyler Algier. Lions running back Jahmyr Gibbs. I
feel like there was a time period in the pre-draft process when they were kind of trying to hit them again, like why are you better? Why are you the top back? I feel like that was the context of this.
Who was the same coach they had in college? Was it a running backs coach or something?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Must have been.
Or did they play in high school together?
Let's see.
That's a good question. I forgot I had the answer slide here.
You do have the
look at
answer slide.
that.
Look at that. It's beautiful. Well done, Jay. Well done. All right, Simon. That's going to give you 1 point
I'll take it for the
in
context.
this game. And we're going to move on to our next quote here. Anybody in the chat get that one?
I'm not sure because I'm not looking. I see
Let's
Dave
see.
over there. It looks like Dave got it right there. Dave said Gibbs about Bijan, Gibbs, and Sharps being compared to each other. Nice job, Dave.
Well done. All right. We're going to get into our next quote here. James, this one is for you. Are you ready?
Let's go.
All right, here it is. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be part of a great organization with tremendous history, a team that's connected. Just by being in the building these past couple of days, they're together. They love each other. I'm excited to build a relationship with the guys in the locker room and just be a piece to the puzzle. James, who said this and what are they talking about?
Oh, golly. I am gonna just cold guess that this is Jordan Love talking about getting the opportunity to start for the Green Bay Packers. That's just gonna be a cold ass guess.
For a cold ass guess, you are going with Jordan Love talking about being excited for starting for the Packers, and that is incorrect on both accounts. I'm sorry, James. Simon, you have the opportunity to steal both points if you could tell me who said it, what they're talking about.
Well, James, you have inspired my answer. I'm just going to take the opposite side of that same trade, and I'm going to say this is Aaron Rodgers talking about being with the Jets organization. The Jordan Love one, I feel like it makes a little bit more sense, but if we're talking new teams, new situation, organizations with history, I guess the Jets check out. It's a sad history, but it's a history nonetheless.
It's a history nonetheless.
For sure.
It's a sad history, but a history nonetheless. So you are going with Aaron Rodgers talking about being traded to the Jets.
Piece of that Jets history puzzle.
Sad piece of that Jets history puzzle, and that is incorrect. On both counts.
I'm gonna play a little gamesmanship here. Aaron Rodgers would have been my answer, but then I looked at who is giving us these questions. And it's Mr. JL, who is a Baltimore Ravens fan. So I'm going to say Odell Beckham talking about playing for the Ravens.
Talking about Odell Beckham, talking about the Ravens. And that is some solid logic, Joey, if I had come up with these puzzles. But I did not. And so that is incorrect on both fronts, unfortunately.
I thought Simon said you came up with the puzzle.
Swing and a miss. These are property of old Jay Felicio, G-Man J in the chat.
Sneaky Felicio, as we call him.
Felicio. All right, James, we're gonna swing back around. I'm gonna offer redemption. If you can guess correctly either who said this and what they're talking about, you can earn either of these points.
Pop that quote back up. Let me see what we're working with here. Let me see. Well, let me see what we got here. Let me see.
Let's go. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be part of a great organization with tremendous history, a team that's connected.
History.
Just by being in the building these past couple of days, they're together. They love each other. I'm excited to build relationships with the guys in the locker room and just be a piece to the puzzle.
See, it's got to be one of these like historic franchises, right? Like, ain't nobody saying this about the Arizona Cardinals. Let's be real. You know, nobody's saying this about the Jaguars. Come on, bro.
They've only been
it's
around
just not happening. So I'm thinking like old teams, right? So like, okay, so that's why I threw out Green Bay. I could stay in that division. I could talk Bears. I'm trying to think about although if it's like a young guy too, right? Like if it's like a young guy and like he goes to like Seattle or something, it's like, you know, he might be thinking about like, oh, Legion of Boom and the history and all that kind of stuff.
I love watching what this is doing to you, James.
I'm trying to decipher the history part, right? Like, is this a young guy talking about history, or is this like an actual player who has an appreciation for the history of the NBA or the NFL, right? So, I am going to go. I'm going to go with the Bears, and I'm going to go with DJ Moore, talking about joining that squad via trade. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to go DJ Moore talking about joining the Bears.
All right, DJ Moore talking about joining the Bears. That is
Correct. It's gotta
incorrect.
be. What?
I'm sorry. This was Eagles running back DeAndre Swift on being traded to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, that's
Boo.
yeah.
It checks out though.
Yeah, that makes
Checks
sense.
out.
Yeah.
You're not wrong, and in fact, you're right because you have the answer key.
Because I do have the answer key. We got JB Cho in the chat said, "What's up, everyone? James Coe the GOAT." That's facts. That's
What
facts
up,
right
Joe?
there.
Welcome in.
What's up, man?
Trying to see if anybody in the chat got this. We got a DJ Moore guess from Grim Fan.
I was gonna
like you,
be
James.
I was gonna be sad, James, if you got it as DJ Moore as I'm sitting here in front of my DJ Moore jersey, just in
That's
my
true.
office, thinking about one of my
See,
favorite players.
actually, the other team I was going to go with was the rookie. Who was that rookie running back that got drafted by the Cowboys, by the scouting department?
Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce
Yeah,
Vaughn,
that's what Joey said, right?
Yeah, Deuce Vaughn. So, because I saw the Cowboys jersey back there too, and that kind of started making me think Cowboys. But then I was also thinking DJ. I saw the DJ Moore thing. I was like, okay, I'm thinking DJ Moore, but I would have been wrong either way. So it's
Simon puts up different jerseys every show to distract people.
Yeah,
Knows
it's
the
all
wrong teams that
ploy.
they never play for anymore.
I like
The
it. I
odd thing
like
is they're all actually DJ Moore and Amari Cooper 12 and 19 autographed jerseys of the same color, but I put up different versions of the same jersey every day. So if you notice, it looks the same. It's
Very
just an
expensive.
exercise in futility every single morning.
Just a Sisyphusian struggle.
Awful.
All right, Simon. Well, we are coming to you with this next quote. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I got
And
it full screen.
Actually, I guess I got to take this down for the quote. All right. Here it is. Our current starter is doing extremely well. I would tell you we expected to be ready for the start of training camp, and that's good news. I've read a lot about redacted status, but I think his rehab is going well. Simon, who said this? What are they talking about?
Our current starter is doing extremely well. There's multiple injured players. Is this a new player coming in? Like, we expect him to be ready for the start of training camp. We've gotten reports about multiple players in the past week, running backs, I feel like, stating that they're going to be ready for the start of training camp. I'm going to take a shot on one of them. I'm going to say this is head coach Dennis Allen talking about rookie running back Kendre Miller, and they expect him to be a full go by training camp.
You're going with head coach Dennis Allen talking about rookie running back Kendre Miller being good to go before training camp. Simon, excellent guess, but incorrect on both accounts.
Damn it.
So, Joey,
I have a quote. I have an answer. I just want to see it one more time. I want to see it on the
All right.
screen.
All right.
There's that moment of time where I fully believe what I said was correct, and then it just gets ripped away from me every single time.
Okay, I'm gonna say Javonte Williams and Sean Payton talking about him because
All
I
right.
feel like
Yeah,
I
you
saw
got it.
this connected.
for
All
sure.
right, you're going with Broncos head coach Sean Payton talking about Javonte
Javonte.
Williams. Okay.
Mhm.
John,
I'm like 99% sure that's correct because that's what I was going to say.
well, you should be 100% sure because that is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Head coach.
Oh, look at the
Sean-
photo. Look at the
Sean
photo. I
Payton.
love it.
Yeah, this was just taken yesterday, I'm sure.
Man, Sean Payton he had no agency in this happening, but forever he will be Kevin James. Like for the rest of his life, you can just put any picture of Kevin James as a picture of Sean Payton. I wouldn't.
You know
want,
what?
Like,
I think Kevin James is disrespected. I think he's underrated. That's my hot take.
I think he's hot. You hear that,
Okay,
Kevin
more
James?
underrated than me.
I think you're sexy.
Sad to one up me.
What? I'm sorry. What?
Joey, you were going to get 2 points for correctly guessing Kevin James talking about Javonte Williams there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well done.
Sometimes when Simon's thinking about Kevin James, he just goes to the mall and watches the guys on the segways and just
Just
dreams.
dreams.
And just
He just dreams.
yeah.
We got
And
the
the-
Segway tours here in San Antonio, so I don't even have to go too far.
And the heat? You ride segways in the heat?
Oh, we are a tourist trap of a whole city. If there's something that they can sell to tourists, it is on the Riverwalk, and Segways are included in that.
Oh, and we had a couple guesses in the chat here. Dan Campbell talking about Hendon Hooker from the Cat. Incorrect, but good guess. All right, let's get into our next quote here.
Let's do it.
Joey, we're back to you. You ready?
All right. Yep.
Here it is. This is a guy that played wide receiver at one time coming out. And one thing that he did have was every 9 touches resulted in a touchdown. So we're looking for some production from him as well. And we're looking to see that he does fit into the scheme of things as far as what Redacted wants to do with the offense. Joey, who said this? What are they talking about?
This is a guy that played wide receiver at one time. Okay, so I feel like the news out of Dalton Kincaid is that he was one of those tight ends that played wide receiver one time. But who said it? So the Bills coach talking about Dalton Kincaid.
Bills head coach or just the nondescript Bills coach?
Oh, Bills head coach. Sorry.
Okay.
Sean McDermott, right?
Sean McDermott talking about who was it?
I brain farted on Dalton Kincaid.
On Dalton Kincaid. Okay. Joey, that is incorrect on both accounts.
So logic was good though. Even though
it was logic. It was logic. All right, James, we're moving on to you. Who said this? What are they talking about?
Played wide receiver. Let me see that quote again. So, and then 9 touches. Every 9 touches resulted in a touchdown. If he fits into the scheme of things as far as what wants to do with the offense, I don't know about the whole touchdown every 9 touches part of it, but all the other things line up to be talking about Antonio Gibson in Washington because they just got a new OC. So is it Riverboat Ron talking about Antonio Gibson? That's gonna be my guess.
That's a phenomenal guess.
Yeah.
All right, going with Riverboat Ron talking about Antonio Gibson. James, that is absolutely correct.
Well nice. Nice pull.
Well done. Let's go.
I had not even considered that, but as soon as you said it out loud, I was like, that's it. That's 100% right.
James, that's going to give you 2 points and tie you for the lead here with Joey. James, how do you feel about Antonio Gibson as far as fantasy goes? Is this just coach speak from old Riverboat Ron?
I don't know. We'd have to see what how they kind of feel about Brian Robinson Jr. and stuff like that, and how they kind of like split up that work. I thought Antonio Gibson was fine. I didn't think they utilized him in a great way. Again, we're talking about a converted wide receiver. I don't know why they didn't throw to the running back more often, but I don't know. We'll see. You know, with Sam Howell, Jacoby Brissett back there, kind of fighting for starter minutes there for Washington. I'm not 100% sure how much they're going to check down to the running backs, given that they have a trio of wide receivers that are really, really good. Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, I think, great pass catchers. So you would hope that the passing game runs through them, but you know, if there are some checkdowns available, I think Antonio Gibson could have some value. And again, the price is probably right. You know, Gibson's probably going super, super late in drafts. And I think he's absolutely going to be a guy that, you know, that could absolutely put in some solid games in the 2023 season.
Yeah. Antonio Gibson, he's one. It feels like every year we get these guys who just were hyped the year before, and then they're just going into next year. It's like their value gets yanked out from under them. So I love the point you brought up about the price. The price is probably right, and it feels that way whenever we're doing drafts or mock drafts. He's not going early, so there might be opportunity.
Regardless of who is the starting quarterback, I think he's a value. But if Jacoby Brissett does end up winning that starting job, Antonio Gibson, I think, becomes even more of a value than if Sam Howell does win that starting job. Sam Howell is going to have a tendency as a young, inexperienced quarterback with rushing ability probably to take off whenever Jacoby Brissett, a little bit more experienced, may dump it off to the back. So I'm not sure it's a major difference, but I would lower my expectations even slightly a little bit if Howell's going to be down there. I don't think he's going to be great for that receiving work that we're hoping Gibson gets.
Yeah. With you playing clarinet with Jacoby Brissett.
Smooth.
So smooth. We got Albert, got Ron Rivera talking about Antonio Gibson right there with you, James. Well done. Scott Fish said 100% Gibson. I think he's talking about the prompt, but he could just be talking about something else. I don't know.
His guitar.
100% Gibson, 0% Fender.
We're a Gibson household here.
All All right. This next one. This one's yours, James, I believe. Yes.
Yeah.
Because you just stole Joey's 2 points. So this next one is yours.
Oh,
Here it is. He did everything right. The little throws out in the flat, the little bubble screen stuff the people overthrow. He threw with accuracy, saw it well, knew where guys were supposed to be. He just showed complete command. James, who said this and what are they talking about?
He did everything right. The little throws out in the flat. I mean, first of all, what a terrible quote this is. I mean, it's like
Well, your little
we're
throws out.
praising guys for we're praising guys for throwing bubble screens into the flat. Like how low of a bar have we set? Okay, I am going to guess. Are they? Oh my goodness, dude. I mean, really though? We're talking about praising a guy throwing into the flats? Okay. Wow, that's interesting. Could it be? It's such a stupid quote. And we're talking about a quarterback with accuracy issues. I wonder, is it Shane Steichen talking about Anthony Richardson? And it's a dumb quote because Shane Steichen's a first-year head coach. He doesn't understand how to talk to the media properly, or or just off the top of his dome. So he says, weird stuff like praising a quarterback throwing into the flats and throwing bubble screens. I mean, Jesus Christ, I could throw into the flats, guys. Like, what is going? Okay, anyways. Anthony Richardson. So I'm going to say Shane Steichen talking about Anthony Richardson.
All right, Shane Steichen talking about Anthony Richardson throwing his little bubble screen stuff. That is incorrect, James, on both accounts. Simon, we're moving on to you.
I have an opposing theory here as to who said this. I think this is a head coach trying to talk himself into a quarterback that the fans, that management, and that ownership want to see as the starter, even though this team spent a lot of draft capital on another very high draft pick quarterback. I think this is 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan talking about what Brock Purdy did to end the season last year. He showed complete command of the offense. He did all the things we needed to do. He made those little throws.
All right. Kyle Shanahan talking about Brock Purdy's performance last season is incorrect. Simon.
Damn it.
There was a magic word in this quote, guys. Can we put the quote back up? I'm going to point it out. It said it twice, and that word is little.
Marsupial. Oh.
The little throws, the little bubble screens. This is absolutely Frank Reich talking about who else? Bryce Young.
So you think this is Frank Reich?
Little.
We're just slipping little in there. Little Freudian slip.
Little.
Am I right? Yeah. Thank you.
His little
points.
passes in his little college football career.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Well, Joey, that is absolutely correct. This was
No
Frank
way.
Reich
What?
talking about Bryce Young.
That doesn't make sense. What are you talking
I
about?
said it to be funny.
This is absolutely Frank Reich just
my God.
not realizing that he keeps slipping little into every sentence.
Oh,
He
my
can't
Lord.
stop himself. He just can't stop himself.
Frank,
I
There
decided
is
with how
no-
little I was going to make the
Oh,
joke.
my
I didn't think I was
God.
going to be right. Oh, God.
That is crazy. That is
Oh, no.
insane.
But
Frank
no,
needs
you're
to
going to
sit
steal
down
these
with
2
his PR
points.
agency. They need to have a conversation about how to properly talk about their new
The
quarterback.
little bubble screen stuff.
The little bubble.
Now I get why he loved Matt Ryan so much. It all makes sense. It all makes sense.
Unbelievable.
Good stuff, Joey.
James, how do you feel about this? About the Bryce Young selection by the Carolina Panthers, and do you think he's going to do well this first year?
No, I don't think he's going to do well. I didn't like the pick. I think Bryce Young is an absolutely look. He's talented, Obviously, he went 1 overall, and he played well at Alabama. But this is not Alabama, It's like, I'm sorry, you don't have an NFL, offensive line, a far superior offensive line in the NFL. He's going to have to move around a little bit, scramble a little bit. I love his arm. Look, the guy can throw it. He can make every throw. But the bottom line is he's got to go over, and we joke around about him being little. It's not just his height. It's also his build, like he's so thin. So I think I worry about durability, and for me, it's like if you're getting a guy like this, I just didn't understand why not go CJ Stroud. Like I love CJ Stroud. I think he can make every throw as well. He's a little bit more pocket based, and I thought that would fit in well with what Frank Reich does there in Carolina. But the receiving core is not very good, and no, I don't think Bryce Young is going to have a very successful rookie campaign.
Like that. Go ahead,
I think
Sam.
even people that are like super pro Bryce Young, myself being included, I'm not drafting him in fantasy this year. And if he's in super flex, I hope he's my third or fourth quarterback, even after taking him in the like with a top 3 pick in those drafts. It's we talk about it being a plus situation for first overall draft picks, but that's comparing it to the likes of some of the worst teams we've seen in the last 10 years. Those Jaguars teams, those Browns teams picking first overall. You're right. This is still a gross situation for a quarterback to come into and try to learn under. And DJ Moore's gone. Like they traded away what would have been his best friend, a rookie quarterback's best friend, traded away to get him. So
yeah,
brutal.
They gave up a lot to get that pick. Way too much.
Hope it works.
Hope it works. All right, we're getting into our last quote here before we move on to our other game, vague descriptions, second round of this game here. This one is yours, Simon. Pull it up. He uses me everywhere, from receiver to running back. He lets me do my abilities and skill set the right way. Whether it's catching the ball, running routes, obviously running the football, blocking, and doing it all. Simon, who said this? What are they talking about?
Can you leave it up for a second?
Yeah.
He uses me everywhere, from receiver to running back. He lets me do my abilities and skill set the right way. Whether it's catching the ball, running routes, obviously running the football, blocking, and doing it all.
Sounds like a great LinkedIn endorsement.
Okay. I'm going to say this is my fantasy kryptonite and Mr. Do-It-All himself, Taysom Hill, talking about his relationship with his former head coach, Daddy Sean Payton.
Daddy Payton. You're going with Taysom Hill talking about his relationship with Daddy Payton, and that
he uses him everywhere.
He does use him everywhere, but is incorrect.
No.
Both accounts in this case.
He has said that about Sean Payton.
He probably has said those exact words about Sean Payton, yeah. Joey, we're moving on to you. You can steal both points here.
I feel like I got this. Can I see it one more time? Because I love seeing the quote one more time. It's like my thing. So he uses me everywhere, from receiver to running back. He lets me do my abilities, and whether it's catching the ball, obviously running the ball. Okay, so I think this is Jerick McKinnon talking about, Jerick McKinnon talking about Andy Reid and the way that he uses him, because Jerick McKinnon just re-signed with the Chiefs.
Jerick McKinnon talking about Andy Reid, his relationship to him, and that is incorrect on both fronts. I'm sorry, Joey.
I had that.
Which means, James, both points are available for you to steal here.
This is tough. I when he said Jerick McKinnon, that's a very, very good guess. I would have said Jerick McKinnon too. Although I was kind of sort of thinking here, I'm either thinking CMC or Saquon, right? And I'm actually going to go with Saquon, only because I don't remember CMC ever have. This is a very weird thing to say for me, but like, I don't ever remember CMC having quotes. Does that make any sense? Like he never talks to. It's not that he never talks to media. He just never says anything quotable.
Right.
And he's just so he's just there. You know what I mean? Great player, obviously. But I just wonder if Saquon Barkley.
A little boring.
I mean, and let me ask the chats too. Like, I don't know. Like, when was the last time you seen like a notable CMC quote? Like, I don't remember one.
I will take.
He's so good at saying absolutely nothing. Like, he's so good at that. I'm gonna go ahead
the commercial of him in the bathroom. It's like a Gillette commercial. I feel like I just can't get that out of my brain now.
I only see him in his mansion during the video they showed during the Heisman ceremony, like panning across him and his like highly upper class family playing piano as children in their home. And it was just like so odd that that's what they showcased for him. Like, that's all I think of. That's the only thing outside of
So
football that I have.
I liked the Shanny CMC guess too, but I'm gonna go Brian Dable, Saquon Barkley on Brian Dable.
On Brian Dable.
Good
That's a good one.
Going with Saquon Barkley on Brian Dable, and that is incorrect on both accounts. Simon, I'll offer you redemption.
Okay. I think I was onto something with the position at first. This does seem like, I don't know. Maybe I'm entirely wrong because it does say from receiver to running back, but blocking, it's probably a receiver or a running back. Obviously running the football.
Yeah.
So it's a running back. This is Cordero Patterson talking about his past couple years with Arthur Smith, leading to a late career resurgence. He knows how to use them everywhere. He's gotten them involved.
Simon, you're going with Cordero Patterson talking about head coach Arthur Smith and his usage of running backs. And that is half correct.
Okay, I'll take it.
Half correct. This was talking about Arthur Smith, but it was not whoever you said. It was Bijan Robinson.
So I just got blind locked into a single point there, but I will take it.
You absolutely did.
Entirely wrong, but you get a point.
Entirely wrong. Enjoy your point. And that's going to bring the score to 4-2 as we head into our next game of vague descriptions here.
Let's do it. John Luke, did you describe this game at the beginning? No? Then I'm going to explain it real quick before we get into it. In this game, it's going to be a similar structure to the last game. One person's going to get a prompt. If they get it wrong, the other two can steal in an order. But this time, instead of it being an anonymous quote, you're going to get a category and a very vague description of something in that category. It could be a movie, it could be a TV show, it could be a football word. You're responsible for determining what JL's talking about. If you do, you get a point. If you don't, it goes on to your opponents, and we'll go like this until we run out of time or run out of vague things to talk about.
There we go. Pretty straightforward. All right, Simon, you are going. No, yeah,
I just got redemption on that one. So it's Joey's turn.
Joey's turn because he goes first. Ooh, I just realized I put an answer in the wrong spot. Good thing I noticed before I put that up because you guys would have seen the answer.
Well, I tell you what, while you're fixing that, I think Joey and I should talk about Bijan Robinson there. How high are you going to go with Bijan, man? Like, obviously he's in a great spot on what should be a pretty run heavy team, and Bijan's a supremely talented player.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't picture a better landing spot than the team that ran the ball the most times last year. So right. I have him as a top 6 running back right now in redraft. And in Dynasty, I mean, I think you could take him as the RB1. I think the workload is going to be there for him. He can catch. He can run the ball. Sky's the limit for him, honestly, for me, with him in Atlanta.
Oh, he's the most clear-cut RB1 since, I don't know, maybe like Saquon or something, in Dynasty. And I'm with you. Like, I think something in the top 10 running backs is absolutely not out of the question. And I know, a lot of folks might balk at that because he's a rookie. But no, man, I think a top 12 pick, and even in redraft leagues, I think that's absolutely where he's going to go. And even then it's like, God, if you take him like 8 overall, like even that might be good value. Because this guy's so good.
And what I've been seeing from startups, not even Dynasty, but just like I'm in a redraft startup they started one up over the weekend, and Bijan, AJ Brown went at the 12-13 turn. And it's just like, man, how can you picture a better start than that?
Yeah, really. You got to be excited about it. James, I loved what you brought up. It does seem like this is the most clear consensus number 1 running back we've had in a long time. And I have a hard time making an argument for these guys. The only ones scoring that we expect to score similar volume of points this year are significantly older. We're talking like 5-6 years older than Bijan Robinson is coming in. Right. It's nice to have some of that clarity. In redraft, are you going to be do you think it's in his range of outcomes for him to be the number 1 overall running back with the volume we're expecting there as a rookie?
I
saw him drafted in a redraft mock the other day, first overall, and I was mad about it at first, but I was sitting there thinking, I don't know.
I'd be surprised because I don't think Atlanta's going to score that many points, right? So the volume, I think the volume load is certainly going to be there for him, especially and again, I'm assuming we're talking PPR here because number 1 overall, I think in non-PPR probably is out the window, right? But I think in PPR, you can at least make a case. But I just wonder about the touchdown load. I don't think Atlanta's going to score that many points. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could be wrong here, but I don't think Atlanta's offense is that good. And I think they may struggle to score the ball a little bit. Look, the quarterback situation's still very much up in the air. You know what I mean? Like, is Ritter good? I mean, if Ritter was actually good, all he had to do was beat out Mariota last year, and Mariota literally had his wheels completely just fall apart for them to force Ritter into that situation, right? So I don't even know if Ritter won the job so much as Mariota lost it. You know what I mean? So
won by default.
I just don't know how good Atlanta's going to be offensively, and that probably would, for me anyways, I would take Bijan. I would not say that it's in his realm of possibilities to finish as the RB 1.1. No.
Yeah.
Can I ask James, with Tyler Algier, because Atlanta, they gave, I think it was over 500 total touches to their running backs last year. Do you think Algier is a good like backup late round running back to grab, or are you just like not very interested in him?
No, look, I'm not a big Algier fan. I don't think,
Okay.
for me, he's like one of these like, dime a dozen guys that, people fall in love with. And if you give him volume, he ends up putting up numbers, right? But that being said, again, it's Arthur Smith. We know he's going to run the ball. And not only is he going to run it, he's going to run it effectively. He's been so great at finding ways to get his running backs in the right spots. Right. So I actually think Algier is going to be in a really good spot to outperform ADP. But that being said, man, you got to think that he's going to be one of the most popular handcuffs in fantasy because he did it last year. Like we saw him post numbers last year. Right. So and when there's that name value associated with the handcuff, those guys tend to go a little bit higher. So I wouldn't be surprised when. Yeah, right. Like the Alexander Madisons of the world. Like I think like when we get to like the ninth round, so like a top 100 pick in redraft come August, I think that's where you'll see Tyler Algier end up landing. And at that price, I don't know how we feel about him as a top 100 player. Are we feeling good, bad about it? It sounds reasonable. It's a reasonable price, but certainly I think a lot of the upside is kind of sucked out of there. When you're taking him like pick 90 overall or like 95 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's baked in already. It's sitting there in the cost.
Exactly.
All right, let's get into our next game of vague descriptions here. Joe, you are going first on this one.
Okay.
And here's your first prompt. The category.
If you say so.
If you say so. The category is band/musician. And the vague description is 4 insects who changed the world.
That'd be the Beatles.
The Beatles are correct, Joe.
Nice.
Well done. That's going to give you a point here.
That is so good.
Well done.
As soon as you said it, it was like, of course, but I was not there.
Of course, it's the Beatles.
I was trying to think of like Quattro centipedes who lit the world on fire. Like I thought it was gonna like have like all of those words in there separated differently. Like what are other words for 4?
James, how do you feel about the Beatles? Are you a Beatles guy?
I'm not a huge Beatles guy. I listen to a lot of hip hop and stuff, so I'm not like a big, like if you give me the rock and roll category, I'm going to fall flat on my face. Can I ask a very, like a philosophical question though?
Please.
Okay. So
please, this is what we're here for.
Yeah. So the Beatles came out in like the 60s, right? So that was like 60 years ago. Right. And so I will ask you 60 years in the future, from today, so we're talking 2085 or whatever, right? So 2085, will people still be listening to the Beatles? Now, before you answer, let me put it to you this way. 60 years before the Beatles would put us 120 years in the past. Do you listen to any music from 120 years ago? The answer to that is almost positively no, right? So 60 years in the future, will people still be listening to the Beatles? It's 120 years from when they first came out.
I feel like we have to take into account the acceleration of just music, like the volume of music that's coming out, or the rate at which music is coming out, because that it's certainly going to be way bigger now, right? Or a faster rate than 120 years ago, people making music. So I can imagine that would play into it. I don't know if that makes it less memorable, like less likely or more likely that the Beatles would be remembered, but they seem goaded in. I don't know.
The one thing I do think is that that era is almost locked in as the rock band era. Since that era, we don't produce bands of that magnitude anymore. It's different. It's solo artists for the most part. It's Beyonce, it's Taylor Swift. So I do think from like a history perspective, that could be remembered. That may give it some more staying power. I don't know. I also, if I had to guess, I would bet people 120 years in the future listen to music more similarly tech-wise that we do now than we did to people 120 years ago previously.
I
from
see what
today.
you're saying. For
That's
sure.
a
Right?
step. Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm not going to say the
That's
Beatles are like,
I'm just spinning in here, James.
I'm going to think about that
What
for
are you doing?
the next 2 weeks. Thank you,
the
James.
Beatles are so big and they changed music. You think of like Mozart and Beethoven. Like, I'm not saying the Beatles are Mozart and Beethoven, but there's like
You ever
4 or
seen
5
them in the
composers
same
that we
room at the same
still
time?
listen to. Like, maybe the Beatles are of this time frame of the 1900s. It's like, oh, the Beatles, like Mozart was in the enter year, because I don't know my classical music history.
Or 60 years from now, Imagine Dragons is the pinnacle of classic rock.
I was about to say, if we didn't bring up Imagine Dragons, I was going to have a big problem.
That is funny. Yeah. No, you're right. And I think that's the philosophical question are the Beatles the Beethoven of rock and roll? You know, and it's like, if you can answer that question, then yes, you will listen to them 60 years in the future. But yeah, it is rare. It's certainly few and far between, the number of people. I mean, and by the way, there's like a whole subsect of people who have literally never heard one Beatles song. Yeah. You know, it's like, if you grew up, I don't know, like listening to, if you grew up in like Dr. Dre and like Snoop are like your guys, you know, it's like, when would you ever run across or want to even listen to the Beatles ever? You know, it's like, I know for myself, like I grew up,
it's got like a yellow submarine playing in the top or something.
Hey, listen, I grew up in the 80s and I've listened to very, very little Beatles catalog. Very little, you know, like I could maybe recognize like 4 or 5 songs and that's it.
I'm with you, James. Like, I feel like I get
I'm
old. A lot.
I'm old. I'm in my 40s, you know.
I don't know about 60 years on with the Beatles, but I will say yes to the Rolling Stones, because Mick Jagger probably still be touring then. So
absolutely gonna like freeze his brain. There's gonna be some kind of like, some Rolling Stones AI bot that's just like still touring for sure.
All right, let's get into our next round here of vague descriptions. Joey, you got that one correct. So this next one is yours, James. The category is football. The vague description is the last line of defense.
We talking about safeties? Safety
is absolutely correct. Well done, James. Okay. It's going to give you another point.
All right.
Give you another point. I thought the line might mess you up.
That was a layup. Come on now.
I mean, Joey's wasn't too hard either.
Yeah, I know. I was like, this is too easy.
I am worried. Because I have not been close on either of those, and I recognize that they're relatively easy. Like, I'm sitting here recognizing the difficulty level of those 2 prompts and how far I was from the answer on both of them. Whew.
All right. Well, James is going to bring you up to 3. Joey has 4. Simon has 2.
It's very close.
We're 3-2. Did I have to? Yeah. All right. So, Simon, this next one's yours. You ready?
Let's do it.
Category is video game. The vague
those.
description is a whole new big world.
A whole new big world is. I'm going to try not to.
I got it.
Is this Tears of the Kingdom?
This is Tears of the Kingdom.
Gotta be. There it is.
Legends of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Well done.
Gotta be.
Also, I played for about 20 minutes last night. And then I got to a point where it allowed me to start attaching things to each other, and I have advanced the plot 0.
Attaching everything to everything.
I've just been attaching shit everywhere, building things. But like, it's going to be a minute before I unlock the next powers.
Have you played, James?
No, I haven't. But no, I'm a huge Zelda fan. So yeah, when this one came, you know, it's funny. I actually have consciously made the decision to not get it right now because I'm extremely busy right now, and I know that if I get it, that's like 80 hours of my life just gone. Yeah. So like the next 2 weeks I'll just be holed up, like, you know, my wife's gonna be mad at me, and like, you know, people are gonna be all upset and stuff. So no, I have to like take a break, man.
James, the 100% the exact same thing. I made a promise that I would not get it until Christmas. My wife came home with it on Saturday.
No.
And she's like, I got
God.
it. Just like not cool because she knows I don't want to play it until
Joey
Christmas.
hasn't
But I got
talked to
work to
her
do. And then she took it
3
back to
days.
Target. She was just playing a joke. She just took it back to Target.
That's
It's
great.
so cruel.
That's hilarious.
That is a pretty good
She's
joke.
so funny, isn't she, guys? Yeah.
All right, so let's get into our. We can speed through one more
Yeah.
round. Vague descriptions here. Score is 5-3 to 3. I think I said that right.
Yeah.
All right,
Mhm.
Joey, this one's yours.
Yes.
Category is TV. Category is TV. A group of survivors navigate a world overrun by flesh-eating walkers.
Oh man, it could be so many. I'm just gonna go with the obvious one. But see, that walkers word, it makes me want to say The Walking Dead, but maybe it's a push off of that, and it's actually The Last of Us. I'm gonna go with The Last of Us because I feel like The Walkers was trying to lead me to The Walking Dead.
All right, going with The Last of Us, and that is incorrect, Joey. I'm
Dang it, I
sorry.
gave the answer to the next
James.
You should have gone with your first one, dude.
I know, right?
Joey, all of these
You
so
should go with
far
your
have
first one.
been, every single answer has been on the nose so far. All of them. You're like, I know the other 3 have been on the
You're
nose,
like, but here comes the trick.
This one's got to be The Walking Dead because it's a group of survivors. If it said a pair of survivors, I could see The Last of Us, but a group of survivors, you got to go with Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead is absolutely correct, James.
Nice.
Closer to Joey's score. Joey shortening the lead. 5-4 to 3. And James.
Awesome. I just minimized it and I see Gary in here said to Joey. Joey thought it was a trick and Gary said, or a great hint.
Or a great
It was just
And Tim said a duo is a very small group.
Joey.
It is. It's a very small group.
Very small
That's
group.
true.
All right, James, are you ready for your next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, category is football. Vague description is the one who gets the ball rolling.
The one who gets the ball rolling. Is this not the center?
This is not the center.
I think I know.
Simon,
Is this the equipment manager?
this is not the equipment manager. Joey,
Is this the coin toss?
this isn't the coin toss.
Oh!
James, you have a shot at redemption.
The one
To
who
tie
gets
Joey.
the ball. The one who gets the ball rolling. Category football. See, now I'm like starting to think like, are we talking about soccer?
Fantasy football game show.
James, go.
Are we talking about
Better Sports Network.
what is that here? The one who gets the ball rolling. It's not the center. Okay, it's not the center. The one who gets the ball rolling. I don't have the foggiest. The ball. I mean, I guess I'll just say. Well, see, okay. I'll say the kicker. I don't think that's the right answer, but I don't know. The ball rolling. That's got me all twisted up.
The kicker is absolutely correct, James.
Yeah.
Well done.
Is it?
Because it
Starts the game. Gets the ball rolling.
Oh, the kick off. Okay,
Kick
okay, I
off,
got
gets
you
the
now.
ball rolling,
Oh my
yep.
god. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
man.
Wow.
But you nailed that, and that's going to tie you with Joey.
That's so far. I absolutely just fell ass backwards into that because I totally did not think. I just started thinking about the ball spinning in the air, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right, but I'll just go with it.
All right, Simon, you can take this last vague description, solve it, and just
Make my
Make
defeat
it a
little
tie.
less embarrassing.
yeah, make it really anticlimactic. Or you can miss it, and Joey and James will have a chance. But here it is. Categories: musician/band, and the description is a band named after a violent bouquet.
A violent bouquet. Something flowers. The aggressive flowers.
Oh, I got it.
I feel like I'm so close. The The angry flowers.
The Angry
It's a
Flowers.
ska band from the 90s. If you haven't heard of it,
The Angry
not even
Flowers
on Spotify.
is incorrect. I'm sorry, Simon. Joey for the win.
This is Guns N' Roses, baby.
Oh my
Guns N'
This
Roses.
is
It's
Guns N' Roses. Well done,
Yeah.
Joey.
Come on.
I even did the
Good
Axel
Guns N'
little sway for everybody. I was feeling it.
James, I do want to apologize on that note for gifting Joey the victory and Angry Flowers instead of Guns N' Roses right there. Sitting right in front of me.
Angry Flowers.
Angry Flowers. But James, we really
Angry
appreciate
Flowers.
you take the time and come hang out and play some games with us today.
Yeah,
Always good seeing you, my friend.
Absolutely, man. A
It's
lot
been
of
an absolute
fun. I
blast.
appreciate you guys having me.
And if you haven't checked out the Reception Perception yet, make sure you go check out that resource. So good. Matt Harmon, James Coe, fantastic work over there.
Absolutely. And if you have not done so already, in the bio right below this video, if you're watching on our YouTube, you can find the link to James' Twitter, where you can then find the link to his YouTube, Instagram, and everything else that he's putting out, including the Reception Perception podcast. It's right there on his Twitter as well. So make sure you go give James that follow. That is going to be it for us today. But before we go, one more reminder. If you guys are looking for some morning reading while you're on the toilet taking that morning dookie, I got some great
Always.
news because Better fans, we got the Better Sports Network newsletter coming to you every single day in your inbox. You get some bets, exclusive offers, program alerts, and some special event alerts in there as well. So go to bettersports.com and subscribe to the Better Sports newsletter to start your day off like that. Guys, that is going to be it for us today. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time for more fantasy football game show fun. A big thanks to our guest, James. Thanks to everybody in the chat who came on and hung out with us today. Congrats, Joey. And we'll see you on a Tuesday.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Find this outro video. I
So
swear Joe moves it
click
every
the
day.
button. I've told you like 100 times.